Hi everybody! So today I'm going to show you something fast and easy. This is a Shopkins inspired character and her name is Miss Candy. I have two different options of colors and you can use whatever you would like. I'm going to be making mine exactly like this one. So I'm using the assorted package of pastel colors from Rainbow Loom, and those are these ones. In total I'm using the white, the pink, green, yellow, purple, and blue. For the eyes, I'm using two 4mm black pony beads, two black bands for the eyelashes, and a single band for the mouth. I didn't add one on the red, but you can totally just add a little red band there if you'd like. For the eyes, I did use a little paint drop. You can use Nikki Looms from Instagram, her technique with the nail polish if you'd like. So I'm going to get started, and I do hope you enjoy. The first thing that we're going to do is create her legs. So I have two legs here, and each leg you're using 2, 4, and 6 bands. So what I'm going to do first is 2 cap bands on my hook, and I'm going to wrap them 4 times. Actually 3 times, sorry. 2, 3, yes, 3 times each. So 1, 2, and 3, and again, 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to make a chain of 2 using double bands. So 2 bands and slide your cap bands on. Pinch and slide. And again. Now you want to have this in the center, and you can remove off your hook and put to the side until we're ready to use. I'm going to repeat 2 cap bands, wrap 3 times. Chain of 2 using double bands. Make sure it's at in the center and remove and put to the side. For round 1, I'm going to start off with the white color, and I'm going to do a chain of 8. So I'm not going to be using the loom. I just realized I had the loom in the intro. So I'm going to use a cap band, wrap it around my hook 3 times, and then make a chain of 8. So my first band is going to be wrapped around my hook 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now creating a chain of 8. So this is what you should have so far. For round 2, we're going to attach our chain together. So I'm going to start off with the first one and then attach my stitch marker. Then I'm going to continue going around in each chain using a total of 9 bands. So I'm just going to be single crocheting. Let's go ahead and attach our chain together. So I'm going to hold onto the cap band, and I'm going to have my cap band sideways. Don't have the circle up. You want to have it sideways. And you're going to go through with your hook, going through all 3 loops. All 3. So you have the 3 loops on your hook. Now slide your band through all the loops that are on your hook. Grab the end and slide. Now you want to attach your stitch marker to this band that's around your hook. Now we're going to go around doing 8 more single crochets. So what I'm going to do is put my hook right through the chain so that the loops are on my hook. Don't go sideways so that the loops aren't on your hook anymore. You want to go through the top. So you can see the loops are on my hook. And you're going to do your first single crochet. Each chain, you want to make sure that the loops are on your hook. You're going to go all the way around and stop at the stitch before the stitch marker. So I'm at the stitch before the stitch marker. This tiny one is your slip knot that you made when you started. So you should have 9 single crochets or 9 chains. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. So if I count with you, don't count that little slip knot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 is on your hook. Still continuing with the white for either or, which one you're making, you're going to do 9 single crochets, adding 1 band to each chain around. Don't start at your slip knot. Go in your first chain and just single crochet. Next chain, all the way until you get to your stitch marker. You have 9 chains, remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's on your hook. For round 4, we're going to decrease to 5 stitches. Right now we have 9. So what I'm going to do is a little trick that Nancy from Facebook taught me, and I think it is actually a pretty neat decrease. But just so you know the pattern right now, I'm going to stitch the first 2 stitches together. Then the 3rd and 4th together, doing a little trick. My 5th chain, I'm going to do a single crochet and then ending with 2 decreases. So let's take this one slowly. I like your little trick. What I'm going to be doing is with the first chain, not where it's getting pulled, I'm going to grab the inside loop only. This is my decrease. The inside loop only, and then on the second chain, I'm going to be grabbing the outside loop only and single crocheting. So just so you can see again, inside loop of the first chain, outside loop of the second chain, and decrease. So you're bringing your band through both of those chains and on your hook and slide. Now again, a decrease, so I'm going to grab the inside loop only, and then the outside loop only of the next chain, and bring my band through both of those chains. Now this is my single crochet, so I'm going to go in my next chain and single crochet. I'm going to do a decrease again, so I'm going to grab the inside loop only. I'm going to open it up so you can see. Inside loop, the first loop. The next chain is the second loop, so the outside loop. And bring your band through. One more decrease. Inside loop only, the first one, and then the outside loop only for the second chain, and decrease. Bring your band through your chain. So right now you have a small opening, but you have 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is on your hook. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's on your hook. So I have round 5 and round 6 here, and I'm switching to the pink color. I'm going to do round 5 with you first. If you are making the red and white one, you want to use the red color now. What I'm going to be doing is an increase to each chain around and grabbing the outside loops only. It's very small, so take your time and make sure you have 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is on your hook. Now just grabbing the outside loops only, I'm going to be doing an increase to each one around until I get to my stitch marker. I have 10 bands in here and 5 sections. So because it's so small, make sure you're grabbing your first chain, not where it's getting pulled, and grabbing, because it's small, your outside loop only is on the top. And do an increase. Now I am changing color, so I'm going to do a slip stitch first. So taking my first band, I'm going to bring it through both of these loops and on my hook and slide. I'm going to grab that outside loop only first, or now the same one, and add my second band single crochet. Now the next chain over, outside loop only, the top one there, and increase. Grab it again. I can see I have 3 chains left, 1, 2, and 3. Repeat, outside loop only, and single crochet, back again, and continue. Again. Oops. I'm at my stitch marker. So you should have 10 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. And for round 6, we're going to do 10 single crochets, 1 band in each chain. Don't start where your slip knot is. Go to your first chain. The next chain, all the way around until you get to the stitch marker. You should have 10 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 7, what we're going to do is switch color. So I'm going to the pastel green. If you are making the red and white, you want to go to the white color now. I'm going to be doing 10 single crochets, so 1 band in each chain. I'm changing color, so I'm going to do a slip stitch first. So first band through all the loops. Now 1 band in each chain until you get to your stitch marker. So you should have 10 stitches and remove your stitch marker. For round 8, I'm still using the green color. You can still use the white color here. I'm going to do 10 single crochets and I'm going to add the eye on chains 5. If you don't have the eye, you can use a black band and I'd wrap it around my hook 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And slide it onto your band. Now I'm using the pony bead, so I'm just going to slide the bead through and add it to chain 5. Now you're just doing 10 single crochets, 1 band in each chain. Don't start in your slip knot. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now continue going around until you get to the stitch marker. You have 10 stitches, remove your stitch marker. For rounds 9 and 10, I'm going to switch to yellow color and we're going to do 10 single crochets. So if you're doing the red and white, switch to the red color now. What we're going to do at the end of this round is fix this eye, making it flush, and then adding some stuffing. So changing color, I'm going to go on my first chain and do a slip stitch. Now one band in each chain until you get to the stitch marker. You can remove your stitch marker and then continue with round 10. 10 single crochets. First chain, not the slip knot. Now you want to remove your stitch marker and you want to secure it. And I'm going to remove my hook because now it's secured. What I'm going to do is fix the eye. So I'm just going to open it up and I'm going to bring the eye through the little V on the back. So if you open it up, you're going to see that little V. You want to push, whether you're using the bead or the bands, push it through that little V. So it's flush. Now take a little bit of stuffing and you want to fill this area. Push it down, don't push too hard. And I'm going to remove some. And put my band back on my hook. For round 11, I'm switching to the purple color. If you're using the red and white, you want to switch to the white color now. I'm going to be adding the other eye on chains 4. So right now I'm going to do 10 single crochets, so I have 10 bands, 5 and 10. You want to add your band or your eye to the band on chain 4. If you're using the black band, you want to wrap it around your hook 4 times. So changing color, I'm going to start off with a slip stitch and then do 10 single crochets. So in my first chain, slip stitch, and then continue going around until you get to the stitch marker, or we have to add the eye actually. So I did 3 bands, 1, 2, and 3. 4th chain, the eye. And continue going around. Try really hard not to grab that stuffing. You should have 10 stitches. Remove your stitch marker. For round 12, I'm going to continue with the purple color, doing 10 single crochets. Then I'm going to be fixing the eye, adding the mouth, and adding the legs. So let's go ahead and do 10 single crochets. First chain, all the way around. You should have 10 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and you want to secure this. So if you're using a C-clip, you want to attach it to the band, one of the little chains next to it. Open it up and you want to fix your eye and push it through the little V in the back. Now we're going to add the mouth to this area right here, and I'm going to show you exactly in a second. I'm going to use a single red band and I'm going to double that. I'm going to tie it off with a single yellow band just because that's my color right here. You can use any color. I actually didn't count this single band in my band count. What I'm going to do is find my placement first, and I'm going to go through the center of this yellow here. So I'm below the eyes and I'm going to come out through this little slip knot of a yellow. So you can see I have 3 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to take my single band and double it. And I'm going to bring it through, grabbing the end, and I'm going to tie it off. Giving it a tug, and I'm going to pull this through. Now to attach the legs, each one I'm going to tie it off with a single band. I'm going to show you the placement. Here's the mouth. You're going to skip and you're going to go right below. I'm going in between. So here's the mouth, skip. I'm going to go in between these 2 stitches here. But I'm going to do a little from the inside. If you're doing the red, I just want to find the placement first. You're going to go through the red and through the white. So what I'm going to do first is with my hook, I'm going to go from the inside and come out through the yellow and the green here in between. So you can see the mouth skipped through the yellow. And I'm going to put one of these ends on my hook. So the end has 2 loops that you want to make sure that are on your hook. I'm securing the other end with my hand here, my fingers, and I'm going to pull it through. And now going out right beside it of the green. I didn't catch both loops. Let me just undo. I'm going to put both loops on my hook, pull it through the yellow, go out through the green right beside it, securing with my hand here, putting the other 2 ends on my hook, and bringing it through. Now I'm going to bring this up, and you should have 4 white loops on your hook. And I'm going to tie this off. I'm going to repeat with the other side. So this time I'm going to go through the yellow and through the purple, red and through the white. So first is with the purple, so with my hook, and then I'm going to go through the yellow chain. So grabbing 2 of the loops, putting it on your hook, bring it through, securing the other end, and now go through the other side of the yellow. Make sure these two ends are on and going through the other side. Bringing the two ends on my hook and bringing it through. You have 4 loops on your hook and tie it off. So this is what you should have. Now you want to put your end back on your hook. Push these bands in so you don't catch onto them. And I'm going to be changing to the blue color. For rounds 13 and 14, I'm going to do 10 single crochets. I'm changing to the blue color. If you're doing red and white, you want to change to the red one. I'm going to start off with a slip stitch. So I'm going to go in my first chain, not where it's getting pulled. Make sure you don't grab these bands that are sticking out in the center here. Changing color, so start off with the slip stitch. Now 1 band in each chain until you get to your stitch marker. Ten stitches and remove your stitch marker. Add it to the band that's around your hook and 10 single crochets for round 14. Don't start in your slip knot. So you should have 10 stitches. Remove your stitch marker, add it to the band that's around your hook, and we're going to add some stuffing. So you want to fill the rest of the area. You want to secure first. So if you're using a C-clip, attach it to one of these chains right next to it. So we're going to fill this part. Again, don't overstuff. You just want to get the form. And you want the stuffing right to the end. For rounds 15, I'm going to do 5 decreases grabbing the inside loops only. So I'll be stitching 2 stitches together. Make sure that all those little pieces of the stuffing are in, and you're just grabbing, switching to white. So I'm going to start off with the slip stitch first. So what I'm going to do is with the first 2 chains, 1 and 2, I'm grabbing the first little loop that's facing the center on both of the chains. And slip stitch, so through all the loops. Now the next 2 inside loops only, open it up, the next one, and stitch your 2 chains together on your hook and slide. Repeat, inside loops only, and stitch your chains together. You're going to continue until you get to the stitch marker. Inside, inside loop. So now you have 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is on your hook. And remove your stitch marker. For round 16, we're going to increase on each chain around, so adding 2 bands, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So at the end of round 16, you're going to have 10 stitches. So I'm going to go on my first chain, and I'm going to do an increase 1 band at a time. Back in. The next chain, increase, back in, you can see I have 3 chains left, 1, 2, and 3. 3 sections left. Drop my stitch, and I'm just going to grab it, continue, back in, and one last time, back in. You have 10 stitches, and remove your stitch marker, add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 17 and 18, I'm going to do 10 single crochets. So each pile I have 10 bands, so at the end of each round you should have 10 stitches. Round 18 is our last round, so your last band you're going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. Then we're going to be adding the eyelashes. So each pile I have 10 bands, so you should have 10 single crochets or 10 chains when you're done. Don't start where it's getting pulled. Go on your first chain and 1 band in each until you get to the stitch marker. You have 10 stitches, remove your stitch marker, and continue with round 18, remembering that the last band is a slip knot. Last band, slip knot. And I try so hard to remember, I forget. Through all the loops, grab the end and tie it off. Now I'm going to remove my stitch marker, hide my band, and then fix up the candy a bit. So what I'm going to do first is bring my slip knot through the chain to bring it inside, and then I'm going to hide it through 3 of the little knots that you see. So for the first one, I'm in the center here, in the middle, or the inside, bringing my band through. I'm going to have to do it again. And maybe one more. Maybe, maybe not. Now what we're going to do is fix up the candy. You want to create that shape. The end, you're going to just stretch out the edge bands here, the ones at the end, and the same thing for the other side so that they're kind of even. Don't pull this way, you're just stretching them out this way. So to do the eyelashes, I'm going to be grabbing this little loop that you see on the outside part of the eye. From the top here, I'm going to go through, I'm going to hook onto it. So I have it upside down. Hook onto this band here, and I'm going to do a slip knot. So bringing my band through, grabbing the end, and I'm going to pull towards the top, but I'm going to hold the knot down and give it a tug, just to make sure that the curl is going towards the top and not facing down. And the other side, I'm going to hook on, and I'm going to bring my band through. And what I'm going to do is just give it a little tug, holding on to the knot and pulling and making sure that both of them are curled towards the top. Hold on to the little knot. And using my scissors, I'm going to cut not too long and not too short. And then you can make a little dab with your nail polish or your paint or even liquid paper if you have, or you can just leave it as is.